This is All About Wine, the talk show dedicated to the wine industry since 2009. Featuring winemaker, cellar master, vineyardist, and tasting expert, Ron.
Basically, what we're trying to do on this program is just trying to educate people and trying to make wine less confusing and more friendly.
From coast to coast and around the world.
You know, we really have had some neat people on the program. I love that.
Post your questions and comments during the live show on our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/allaboutwinebtr. Again, that's www.facebook.com/allaboutwinebtr. And now, All About Wine is on. Here's Ron.
All right. Very good. Very good.
So I got to take that logo off of there.
It warmed up.
Take the logo off.
Bus people are really rowdy.
Mm-hmm.
Nice weather and all that.
Well, it's almost like they want to stay on the bus and listen in there where the air conditioner is. Kind of strange.
That's good point. So, yeah.
All right. Here we are.
Another week, All About Wine. Yeah. It is 5/8/2025. May 8th, 2025 at 7:01 p.m. All About Wine Live. So, thank you for listening. If you're listening live, I suppose people are listening live because we've got Facebook and we've got YouTube. So,
yeah,
I suppose we're listening live. And if you're listening on archives, thanks. That's just as good. Bring up again where's my link? There it is. FeedSpot. Ranks things like podcasts and cigar blogs and all sorts of stuff. They spend a lot of time just listing stuff and all that. And they listed wine podcasts, and we are number 9 out of the top 100. Top 100 wine podcasts. It says here are 100 best wine podcasts worth listening to in 2025. And we are number 9 on that list. So pretty proud of that. That's a pretty cool thing. So if you're interested in seeing what their list is go to podcastfeedspot.com/wine podcast. And I think that'll give you the whole 100 list there. So, but yeah, they're not, it's part of that.
We should do like a Casey Kasem countdown thing or something,
Yeah.
Coming down from number 10 this week, number 9.
This week, number 9.
I don't think Casey Kasem, but that was number 9. They started in 2009.
Long
story about it.
Here's a long story.
All about wine.
Yeah. Very happy. Casey Kasem. Probably listeners out there don't know who Casey Kasem is. So,
nope. He was a legend on the radio for sure.
Yes,
entertaining.
Yeah, very entertaining. Mm-hmm. And you always listen to him because he would play some good songs. Top 10s and stuff like that. Pretty cool. Yeah. I haven't thought about Casey Kasem in a long time. But yeah, we're number 9. Number 9. And pretty cool. So, going on, let's got this to say about, but let's start out with a little loss. Take some of the stuff, some words and meanings and stuff that you might not understand, and we'll tell you about. So we'll the E's. There's not a whole lot of E's. We'll use the E's today and start on the F's next week. The first one we left off it was Extra Brut. Extra Brut, B-R-U-T. It's a dry champagne or sparkling wine. In champagne, the scale from driest to sweetest is Brut Nature, Extra Brut, Brut, Extra Dry or Extra Sec, S-E-C, Dry or Sec, S-E-C, Demi-Sec, and Doux, that's D-O-U-X. It is confusing because extra dry isn't really dry or isn't really sweet. It's not or it's not the driest one. It tend to be a little bit sweet. Same thing with dry; those tend to be a little bit sweet. So, if you're looking for a dry champagne, go with Brut Nature or Extra Brut or Brut. Those are your drier champagnes. The next one is Extra Brut. It has a dosage level yield of 0 to 6% of residual sugar, so it's pretty low. Extra Dry is a misleading term. Here's the next definition of extra dry. A misleading term which designates a relatively sweet champagne or sparkling wine. In champagne, the scale goes from driest to sweetest, and they give the list again here. And in extra dry champagne, again, why do they have these twice here? I don't know. In extra sec, S-E-C, they say C extra dry, which puts it extra dry is extra sec. It's just a different terminology. Okay, going on. Extract. Richness, depth, and concentration of fruit flavors in a wine. Usually a positive quality, extract adds to wine's body. Yet highly extracted wines can also be very tannic. To calculate extract levels, some winemakers measure the dry residue remaining after the wine is boiled off. Extract. Extraction. The process by which pigment, tannins, and flavor and aromatic compounds contained in grape skins are dissolved into wine. Extraction is most commonly achieved through maceration, which is soaking the skins of the crushed grapes in wine after the fermentation, during which alcohol helps dissolve flavor, aroma, and especially tannin molecules, as with a steeping tea bag. The longer and warmer the maceration, the greater the degree of extraction. During fermentation, punching down the cap, which is a floating layer of skins, seeds, and stems, and pumping liquid from the bottom of the tank over the cap, called pump over, are other methods of extraction. For reds made in lighter bodied styles, such as Pinot Noir, a pre-fermentation cold soak of the skins and the grape juice can extract water-soluble flavor and pigment molecules while limiting the amount of more alcohol-soluble tannins released into the wine. Pretty much self-explanatory. Extraction. It's a lot of times you pump over. You can punch down the skins and stuff into it and get extract more color into the wine and stuff. There's all sorts of ways, but that's pretty much self-explanatory. On extraction. Let's see what we got on. Only a few on E, but let's see what it has to say. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's do a few F. Fading, F-A-D-I-N-G, describes a wine that is losing color, fruit or flavor, usually as a result of age. Obviously, fading makes sense. Fat. Okay, this is a full-bodied, high-alcohol wines, low in acidity, which gives a fat impression on the palate. Can be a plus with bold, ripe, rich flavors, but it also can suggest the wine structure is suspect. You probably, if you're a red fan, you probably tasted fat wines because they give you this, especially the ones that are, well, not so much anymore, but used to be a lot of high alcohol wines were being made for a while there. And that's about all you can taste with alcohol. No acid and all that, just this alcohol, just a full-bodied alcoholic wine. So that is a fat wine. Next one, Federspiel. This is a middle category in the ripeness classification of white wines in Austria's Wachau Valley, Wachau, Wachau Valley. Federspiel designated wines are made from medium ripe grapes and have mandated alcohol levels between 11.5 and 12.5. Feinherb, Feinherb, Feinherb. Unregulated German term for wines that are off dry. Feinherb is often used in place of the less popular designation Halbtrocken, Halbtrocken, as well as for wines that are slightly sweeter than regulations dictate for Halbtrockens. So Feinherb, Feinherb. You see that on the labels, and it's slightly sweeter. Feminine describes wines with qualities such as smoothness, roundness, gentleness, finesse, elegance, and delicacy. Usage of feminine is in decline in favor of those more specific terms. And it is in decline. That's funny that they said that because I haven't heard the term feminine used to describe wines in a long time. It's been a number of years. Probably because of political correctness now, too, has something to do with that. Fermentation, the process by which yeast converts sugar into alcohol and carbon dioxide. This turns grape juice into wine. Fermentation. Fiasco. A fiasco is a rounded, bottom-heavy glass wine bottle partly covered with a straw basket at its base. It is traditionally used for the wines of Chianti in Tuscany, Italy. You all have seen those, I guarantee you. And let's see, field blend. Let's do one more, field blend. When a vineyard is planted to several different varieties and the grapes are harvested together to produce a single wine, the wine is called a field blend. You don't see that term too often. It's really not a common term. Okay, well, why don't we stop there with our definitions because I got some other stuff I'm going to tell you about today. We'll start with fighting varietal. That should pique your interest. Fighting varietal. And we'll start with that next. Let me go back and find some of the things that I have been saving to talk about. Esther Mobley, I told you, San Francisco Chronicle. I get that so I can find wine articles. And Esther Mobley works for the San Francisco Chronicle. She's a wine writer there. This article says the San Francisco wine shop is slashing prices. She said, but here's the catch. They're selling wines at phenomenal discount, but they may be extremely funky. Near the entrance of the little wine shop in North Beach sits an eclectic collection of natural wines like Piedmont's Castina and Rosalind's Domaine. That owner Jay Espinco has deemed too natty, N-A-T-T-Y, too natty. Espinco has marked the bottles from as high as $65 down to $15 or less because he believes these wines might be flawed. Whether riddled with volatile acidity, mouse, excessive license, or some unknowable symphony of bacteria wines that Espinco felt comfortable selling at full price to his customers. So he marked them down tremendously. And he says people are coming and getting them, hoping to get it. Others came back and told him that, hey, these are really pretty bad. You had a good point in selling this one cheaper. So he says he can't abide by the extreme flaws that are in some of the wines, and so the best way to get around it is just to mark them down and move them out. And if people ask why they're so cheap, he tells them. It says on the sign there may be flaws. This one may have flaws in it, but this is what you're buying. I'm not going to give you a refund if you find it bad. Okay, let me find something else here that I was going to say to you about, and let's go over to this here. I save myself some. Okay. Well, why didn't those things save? No. Well, I guess. No, I saved a couple of them. Do you? By looking at my box here that I sent into, they're not there. It's just. Well, I don't know. Okay. Let's see if they're in this one. No, they didn't come out in that one either. Well, that's strange. No, one of those. Oh, sorry about that. Tassel Ridge Winery. We haven't talked about the different wineries involved. Tassel Ridge ad just popped in today. Tassel Ridge is located in Iowa, southeast Iowa, at let's see, 1681 220th Street in Leighton, 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 Iowa. They're open 7 days a week, year-round. Tastings, I don't know if they still are requiring reservations or not for tastings. Started that during the COVID, and they really didn't stop doing that. But, nice one at nice vineyards, my place and all that. Here's a wine quiz for you. I'll give you in a couple minutes. Sure. Which component can generally be detected by mouthfeel, or how the wine feels in your mouth? A, smell or aroma. B, body. C, color. Or D, specific grapes used. What quality can be detected by mouthfeel? Tassel Ridge Winery is wine of the week, the Iowa St. Croix Rosé. Wine and wood-fired oven pizza night. That's by reservation only. They do that. Well, tomorrow night they're doing it 5 to 8. I think they do it every week, so 5 to 8. Reservations are required though. Get a glass of wine and oven-fired pizza for $15. And choose all sorts of different pizzas and all that. Gift certificates available. Vineyard work going on. Cellar activities. They bottled the rosé this week, this past week. And they got, what is that coming up here? They got Castle Ridge Wine all-day menu, some bistro lunch daily, wood and wine and wood-fired oven pizza reservation on the 30th, and wine dinner and murder mystery by reservation coming up on June 7th, and that is by reservation also. You can get a hold of them at Tassel Ridge. What's the address? Tassel Ridge Winery. They don't have their website on here. Why don't they have their website? You can go to Facebook and get it. Tassel, Tassel Ridge, Ridge Winery, and I think that's where is there? They don't have it. That's strange. Why don't they have a website on their page here? No, they don't. Tassel Ridge Winery. You can go and find easy enough. And before I leave them, the answer to the question, just ask body B. That is the sensational feel. It's the body you're picking up on, not the smell of the aroma or the color or the grapes used. The body is that full filling in the mouth of wine. Okay, let's go to this page here and go down here, and there we go. All right, something new. Has trained dogs. They're detector dogs, and they take them to the vineyard, and they're sniffing out grapevine diseases. Malbec, Solvi B, Cab, and Zinni are the 4 detector dogs that are trained to sniff out the diseases in California. New pilot project in California, and it's pretty much at the end of the pilot project. They're kind of detect vine mealybugs and leaf roll viruses in grapevines. Melback, who is a black lab, Solvi B, an English Springer Spaniel, were responsible for hunting for mealybobs, where Cab, and who is a German Shepherd, or German Short-haired Pointer, and Zinni, which is another English Springer Spaniel, are set to detecting leaf roll virus, which is pretty cool. If you can get dogs to do this, obviously you'll know that their smelling ability is phenomenal. The dogs ruled out the presence of virus nearly 100% of the time, and Melbeck and Solvi B detected the presence of vine mealybugs, 97.3% accuracy, and let's see, did they give the percentage of the other ones? No, they don't. Oh, well, that's too bad. But the screening, and also it breaks down to about 25 cents per block increase in the cost, or 1 cent per finished vine. And the disease can cause untold amounts of cost in the grapes and that. It is a new program that is working very well. They said if the funding is not secure, the dogs will be retrained for other purposes. But right now, the money's there and they're doing it. And it's working. So they should probably pick up the training, because if it's working, it is something that is worthwhile. All right, let me find the next one I got here. Here we go. Where direct to customer wine shipping is in 2025. Direct to consumer, DTC. I bad habit saying customer, but direct to consumer. It says that 2025 is the 20th anniversary of the Granholm versus Hield Supreme Court ruling. One of the most critical milestones for a direct-to-consumer wine shipping market. In the 20 years since then, which is the principle that states cannot discriminate against out-of-state interests when establishing direct-to-consumer shipping permissions. Or direct-to-consumer wine shipping has became almost nationally available. They can't go against it. So, no states are still there, though. Delaware is one of the few states that has absolutely no permission for shipping any alcoholic beverages to consumers. Technically, wineries can ship to Delaware consumers through what is called federal on-site shipping, which actually relates to an obscure part of the 2002 Department of Justice Appropriations Authorization Act. And it simply says, in the absence of state D2C laws, which allows consumers to have wine they purchase while traveling shipped back to their homes. Like, oh, my engineer just brought me in my evening wine. No, we've had this. This is a good wine. Let me finish this before I tell you about this one. There have been a lot of effort the last few years to open Delaware, with several legislatures repeatedly introducing bills, which hasn't worked. While these efforts have so far been unsuccessful, there is every reason to expect that Delaware will pass a proper DTC law before long. Delaware, oh geez, come on, Delaware, get with it. Mississippi is the last southern state to prohibit DTC shipping, though the region used to be replete with DTC skepticism. There is an undercurrent of anti-alcohol mentality in Mississippi, and it was the last state to end prohibition, doing so only in 1966, which really isn't that long ago. What is it, 50 years? 50, something like that. Still, there is hope that the state will allow DTC before long, sooner than later, actually. Bills have been introduced every year, and it continues to be voted against, or well, actually not voted against, not enough votes to pass it. Maybe a bit optimistic, they're saying, to expect 2025 to change it, but it remains in focus for proponents of DTC. Wine, I can't think of anything. Gary's, I don't know. But this is something that they are constantly doing. And the last one of no's is Utah. And that's the last state that prohibits DTC shipping of wine, and will also be the last state to permit it to be shipped. They're not really, I mean, they're one of the friendliest states for liberalizing alcohol laws, but still there's an awareness and interest in DTC shipping in Utah, which led the states adopted DTC light system several years ago. And even though it ended up being little more than a complicated and expensive special order program, it showed that progress is possible, even if it might take more time and effort to get around to allowing it. So those are the 3 states that are no states: Delaware, Mississippi, and Utah. But we have a couple of almost but not really states: Arkansas and Rhode Island. And both the states that have laws that allow for consumers to receive packages of wine. However, there are some real barriers in each state that make them effectively closed for most wineries. And primarily, Rhode Island and Arkansas permit DTC shipping only when the consumer may purchase while physically present at wineries premises. Okay, this means that when consumers in those states cannot make online, phone, or remote club orders. Only consumers with means to travel to a wine country, wherever that might be, can enjoy DTC shipping in those states. Arkansas already operates a mostly normal DTC wine shipping program, requiring wineries to get licensed, pay taxes, and ship only a limited amount per consumer per month. The state still does not seem to trust its residents to use the internet safely when buying wine. These state legislators, I have to chuckle every time I hear that stuff because it's so absurd. And then we've got a few only one channel at a time states. Indiana, Louisiana, and Wyoming all have robust DTC shipping programs, each with hundreds of currently active shipping licenses. However, they all also throw a major hitch into the plans of any winery planning to expand their sales in the state. Namely, these 3 states have rules in place that prohibit wineries from fully operating in both their 3-tier and DTC markets at the same time. That meaning in these states, a winery needs to choose whether to sell the wines in either retail stores or DTC shipping. They can't do both. Which is like, okay, I think I want to go in the grocery store. No, maybe not. I can do more if I do direct to consumer, but that's going to be more cost, and it's ridiculous. Louisiana and Wyoming both permit wineries to operate in their wholesale and DTC markets. However, they do not allow all wines to be sold through both channels at the same time. So the ones listed for the sale are not allowed to be shipped and stuff like that. And New Jersey stands alone as the last state with a production cap on DTC shippers. Under the state's law, wineries that produce more than 250,000 gallons annually are ineligible to receive the license required to make DTC shipments. There have been concerted efforts in recent years to remove this cap, but it hasn't happened. There is some confusion with the bill that were introduced, though, which has so far stymied those efforts. But there is good reason to think that New Jersey's production cap will be defeated in 2025. Crazy laws. This list, though, I have to say, this list is much, much smaller. When we started the show back in 2009, it was 3-4 times this. There's a lot of states that weren't allowing direct-to-consumer shipping, and I would say a good half of them back then. And over the last 16 years, it has really changed. We're down to just a handful of them now, which is good. I think they should be able to do it everywhere. I mean, there's always that argument. Well, the kids are going to get it. The kids aren't going to get it. I mean, come on, be real. Kids don't order wine online or by the phone or anything else. They use their parents' credit card and then sit around and wait for a week and a half, 2 weeks, however long it takes to ship it to them, and then sit there and get it. And you have to have an adult signature anyway, so that pretty much stymies it there. But sit around and get it and then take it and hide it and drink. Okay, I finally got my wine in, guys. Let's all get together and go down to the beach. Here, I'm talking New Jersey. Go down to the beach and let's drink wine tonight. No, they're not going to do that. They're going to sit around in front of this 7-Eleven and ask people, hey, pick me up a 6-pack. Here's $10. Pick me up a 6-pack. And they'll do that and go down to the beach and drink their 6-pack of beer. This for the kids stuff just drives me insane whenever they do that. Okay, so those are the ones that are shipping so far. That's the 20. Everybody else, go away. You can get wines from just about anything. Let me tell you about this wine I have tonight. My engineer just brought it to me. This is the Urban Barn. Like I said, I've had it before. I probably talked about it before. It's a dark red wine blend. And it's California 2021. And it says on the back, 2021 dark red wine blend, California. On the cusp between city and country lies the Urban Barn, rustic yet chic. These barns were once used for cattle and horses. Now they are built and contain, it's hard to read. I have to flip this in line. They are built and contain barrel rooms and fermentation equipment. This is the new barn, the winery, the Urban Barn. Tells you absolutely nothing about what the blend is. Vented and bottled by Urban Barn Winery in Manteca, is that? Manteca, California. Then it has the government warning. Contains sulfites, alcohol, 13.5% volume. So it's red wine blend. I like this wine. I've had it before. I have to, give my point. So let's see. Color, nice little garnet color. Not real dark, but when you look down through the glass, you're not seeing a good outline of the fingers. It's dark enough to cover that up. And swirling the wine, I'm getting some legs on it. Not bad legs. They're a little thin, and but they're not running down real fast. Again, for those of you who like and look at legs as an important factor, others say it's not important. So that's what I'm looking. Yeah, legs aren't bad, and it's got a good grapey and a good mashed grape. You get grape and mash it in your hand and smell it. That's what this smells like. Good grapey aroma. A little bit of raspberry and blackberries too. Yeah, that's interesting. The raspberry really comes out in the aroma and the taste. Oh, it's got some good flavors. It's got some tannins in it. You can detect the tannins. This one probably aged for 2 or 3 years. I wouldn't put it down much. In fact, I like the tannins in my wine, so I probably wouldn't age it at all. The acid comes out in the initial feel in the mouth, but it's not overpowering because the tannins balance it out quite well. Good dry, fruity taste to it. A little bit of hints of chocolate in the background. The raspberry continues into the taste of the wine, so which is nice. You get the raspberry all the way through. It is a little short on the aftertaste. Since I've been talking about it, the aftertaste pretty much dissipated for some reason. You would expect it to hang around a little bit more, but a little short on the aftertaste. I say age for a few years. This is the 2021, so we're already looking at 4 years since it's been bottled. So that's, keep in mind, the date on the bottle is the date the wine was bottled, not when the grapes were picked or any of that. So 2021, and it was bottled in 21. How long they aged it before they put it in the bottle, I don't know, but it was actually bottled in 2021. So it's been in the bottle for 4 years now, approximately. It's a nice wine. I like this. I've had it before. Urban Barn dark red wine blend, and it's very pleasant. It's well with some, I think, pasta would hold well with the wine and the pasta. I think it would probably go well with, I want to say pizza. Any type of pizza, I can see it with this. Also with some heavy fish, something that if you're looking at fish that has, I don't want to say fishy taste to it, but salmon and stuff like that, I think this would go well with that because it's not so strong, but I think it would balance out well with some of the heavier fish and fishy fish. I know what I'm talking about. I hope you understand. Good wine though. We've had the Urban Barn quite a few times. We get it on sale. It's buy one get one, and quite often it pops up buy one get one. So we end up getting two for the price of one, basically. And we always keep our wine rack full of 2 or 3 of them at all times. So highly recommend it. Urban Barn dark red wine blend. Okay. I have to leave the light on because I can't see now. It's getting a little bit dark in the room here. Next one I have for you is just a quick list. This is 5 industry trends for 2025. And read you the explanations. I will tell you what the industry trends are. You can agree or disagree with them. But this is from 750 Daily. A good site if you're not getting it. It's worth it. Most of their articles are really quite long and detailed. So if you want to learn stuff about wine, 7SEVEN 50 FIFTY spelled out Daily and DAI. And it's drinks, industry news, and insights. But very, very good. In fact, I'm going to sign up again on this because I'm reading every week. So let's see if it gives it. I don't want to go through all that now. Yeah, everything is there. And there. And submit. Okay. That's all we need to do. We submitted. Have you taken the submit? Yeah, you have. Okay. Let's go back. Let's go back to the 5 trends of 2025. First one is the effects of the second Trump will be profound. Tariffs, obviously, that's what we're talking about. And it's funny that I am finding a lot of the articles are centered on the tariffs. It just it's on everybody in the wine industry's mind. Everybody in the drinks industry's mind. So this is going to be, obviously something affecting this year. Second, climate change will accelerate its impact, and producers will accelerate their response. Rising temperatures and unpredictable weather patterns are already impacting the 2025 vintage, and it's starting to create problems for small producers. They have quite a few challenges. Big producers are trying to keep their market and their wine coming in. The organic and regenerative farming techniques are sometimes hard to keep up with because of the climate and droughts and too much rains and all that stuff. So something to affect this is there even more is climate change. Hurting the East Coast and big rains coming coast, and just all this battle. 3, alternative varieties from established regions and established varieties from alternative regions will emerge. That's basically telling you this climate change is going to be causing grapes to ripen soon. It causes them to change how the weather is coming in and causing them to ripen. There's sweet areas in all the districts that produce the grapes, and if it starts getting warmer, or if it starts putting too much rain on it, or if it starts getting continuous drought year after year, all this will affect. And so therefore, varieties that you have seen from certain areas are probably going to change, or not eliminate, and some of the areas that grow certain types of grapes are going to find that they're not getting the quality they want. They're going to try experimenting with other grapes. So this is something that's going to start, they predict it's going to start being more evident this year. Number 4, the non-alcoholic category will mature. Okay. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I can't see. First line here says the non-alcoholic category is poised for significant growth. Says Eugenio Ogorov, Egorov. He's the head sommelier and wine buyer at the Stafford, London. He says the category is estimated to be at nearly $2.3 billion it was at $2.3 billion in 2023. And non-alcoholic wine sales should rise by almost 8% by 2030. Okay. I still haven't had my glass of non-alcoholic wines or any of that. We talked about that a little bit last week, and I still haven't had it, and so I'm not going to comment on non-alcoholic or low alcohol wines. Just grape juice. And 5, sales will become more innovative, personalized, and experimental to cater to the new generation. Gen Z. Everybody in the alcohol business, well, particularly wine, is concerned about what Gen Z is going to do to the wine industry, and will become even more evident the coming year years in the future. So, 5 trends in 2025 that I look forward to, or not, however you want to view it. Okay. Okay. That one is done. Let's go to it. 'Let's see, I had something here, but I don't know. 5 new AVAs. Let's tell you about that. There are 5 new AVAs are proposed. 6 new AVAs proposed. This is 6 regions in Texas, Washington, and California, and including an improved. One of the proposed AVA in extreme West Texas is the Del Valley AVA. The arid climate of the Chihuahuan Desert and the underground rivers that lend wines a deep mineral character, combined with the fact that it's at 3,750 feet of elevation, and there's no other Texas AVA that has this exact combination. So it is proposed just one single 180-yard vineyard, 17 different varieties of grapes, and a small but carefully experienced growing team has been working on this. It's Sauvignon Blanc and Semillon are the 2 standout grapes for the region. Del Valley AVA in Texas. Next one, the Mount St. Helens Lake County AVA. Everybody's heard of Mount St. Helens. Well, I shouldn't say everybody. It erupted in oh geez, when did Mount St. Helens erupt, Mike? I can't. It's
I'm going to look that up. I thought it was in the 80s. It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. 88, 89. Late 80s, I thought.
March 1980, a series of volcanic explosions and pyroclastic flows. Yeah, began at Mount St. Helens in Skamania County, Washington. Blah blah blah. 8:32 a.m. Looks like
1980. Wow. And I'm sure there are some listeners out there that don't remember that. 80. That was what? 45 years ago. Oh my gosh.
Yep. Says the eruption column rose 80,000 feet into the atmosphere and deposited ash in 11 U.S. states and various Canadian provinces.
Yeah.
So, yeah, quite a lot.
I lived in Kansas City, Missouri at the time. We got little sprinkles of ash there. It was unbelievable. 1980. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, Mount St. Helens erupted in 1980, and now they have a proposed 4,000-acre AVA in that area, which is protected by from the oceanic influences by the mountains around there and all that. And it's Mayacamas Mountains. That's an AVA. Which they get about 40 inches of rain a year in Lake County, which is right there, and that's mostly in the winter. This summer, not too much, very scarce, but the soils blend alluvions with mineral-rich volcanic ash, obviously, and serpentinite which helps control vigor. So it is quite a good region for an AVA. I don't think it's within another one. It's almost like it's right around my Camas Mountains, so it might be right next to it. But that's a new AVA. Beverly, Washington AVA, obviously in Washington. 2,415 acres. It's the newest AVA and is one of the state's smallest appellations with 3,500 growing degree days. It's also one of the warmest. It's located in the Columbia Valley between 515 and 900 feet above sea level, which is not very high. Just about 5 inches of precipitation annually. Again, not much on that. So they said the wind keeps the canopy and berry size small and contributes to thicker skins. The heat is a huge differentiator. Makes this AVA perfectly suited to red varieties, which are almost exclusively planted there, including Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Malbec, and Cabernet Franc. So the Beverly, Washington AVA. And the next one, Calioma, Caliayomi, Calioma. Okay, Calioma Valley AVA in California. Another one close to Lake County, and it's close to Clear Lake in Sonoma, encompassing much of the original Rancho Calioma land grant. And it's the terroir is impacted by the Mayacamas Mountains, so it's all right up in that same region again. There's a couple of new days. Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Syrah are the ones that are coming out of there now. And let's see, we got 2 more. Farm Occidental AVA. This is inside the larger West Sonoma Coast AVA. This is a sub-region, which is showing stark differences from the inland neighbors and the Russian River Valley AVA, including much more rainfall, earlier bud break, and later harvest. So that is, they're trying to make an AVA on that. Area is well suited to high acid varieties like Noir and Chardonnay. Looks like a good combination. Makes a thing like too. And the last new AVA is Highland Valley AVA. As in California, this proposed AVA shares San Diego's invaluable Mediterranean climate. Warm days, cool nights, and breezes from the Ramona Highlands create an extended growing period. Varied topography comprising rolling hills, higher elevations, and lower valleys form the microclimates that lead to a variety of promising grapes, particularly Merlot, Pinot Noir, Zinfandel, and Chardonnay. They said they're also going to be planting some Sauvignon there also. So, new AVAs going in. Whenever an AVA is proposed, it goes on the TTB website, and you can make comments if you agree with it or disagree with it or have any say about it. So always keep that in mind too. If you're so inclined, or if you're in the area or anything like that, don't question the AVAs that they're proposing. Okay, let me see what else we got here on this one. And, yeah. see. Smoked wines. Just a quick thing on this. Smoke packaged wines are offering new market opportunities. It says certain groups of consumers appear to be open to drinking smoking packaged wines. They're finding a new study that could provide market opportunities for winemakers increasingly dealing with the effects of wildfire smoke on the study by researchers at Oregon State University and in New Zealand found that consumers feel that, like smoky flavors, food, and beverages are open to drinking smoking packaged wines. They also found that the type of information on the label can modulate consumer acceptance. The research provides vital information for the wine industry. Demonstrates that certain. Let me just click down. Why did you do that? Demonstrates that certain wine drinkers, there's a potential for these wines. This is a number of wines grow globally. The wine industry has been heavily impacted. The 20 wildfires on the West Coast and States estimated wine industry losses of $3.7 billion. And Oregon State scientists received a $7.7 grant from the U.S. Department of Agriculture to study the smoke online. Since the researchers have made several key advances, a class of compounds that contribute to smoke impact in grapes. They also developed spray cleaning that has been shown promise to preventing all flavors that result from smoke. Findings include the smoke group average liking score of 8.6 on a scale. The smoke disliking had an average score of 3.6 on a 9 point. Of those, the introduction of labels versus unlabeled wine. Smoke packaged wines for the smoke distillers just over 3, more than 5 on the 9 point scale. Labels overly reinforce one part of the words. Smoke stack experienced the 2020 vintage with the heat light. Labels didn't have much of an impact on beverage scores were still above 6 outpacing dislikers. So you may start seeing wines that are wildfire smoke and stuff like that. So who knows? I never had one myself. I've never had a wine that's been impacted by smoke. I know, but if you are into barbecues and stuff like that, then smoke wine might be to your liking. Who knows? So there you go for it. Time to post another episode of the show, and so that I can talk to you about. And
I don't know if you can hear me, but you are really breaking up bad. I don't know if I'm making it in there now myself, but home. It's really crackling
and because it's
in and out.
It's a new home, we're going to start getting guests. So
I don't know.
And that's it.
Yeah, you're mostly out right now. Definitely, audio was cracking up really bad towards the end there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah,
Wow.
I guess I heard something about 8:04, and we'll go ahead and close out the show for now and talk to y'all next week, which will be May the 15th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, US, right here on social media. Check out our YouTube page and Facebook page. I think that information is on the somewhere. Just look for us. Also, archives on rss.com, Spotify, and elsewhere. So it's catching up. And we'll talk to y'all next week again. This is episode 8 of season 14. That's what we're calling it. So there you go.
Okay. There you go.
Have a great
Yeah.
week. Be safe and take care. And we'll talk to y'all next time. Thank you.
Be safe.
Yep.
Thanks
Talk
for
to y'all next
listening.
time. Thank you.
This concludes tonight's broadcast of All About Wine with your host, Ron. For show information, links to All About Wine on Twitter and Facebook, or to be a guest on this show, visit the show website at www.allaboutwinebtr.com. Archived shows are available for download on iTunes or on our show page at blogtalkradio.com/allaboutwine. Thank you for listening. Drink responsibly, and we'll see you next time on All About Wine.